education planning. Why is it, I mean, when I think about how education was, like for my mom in campus, my mom came from the era of boom.
Boom.
Boom. My mom says when she was in campus, she was in KU, that with her boom money, she was able to live comfortably, go to Shags and build a 2-bedroomed house. A cabin, you know, the wooden ones, like in Meru, because it's cold, so they use wood. A 2-bedroomed cabin that still stands well. Kind of stands. But that's what her boom was.
Wow. Then it was called boom.
Yeah.
In our time, it was called help. And also, I took help.
Nilianza maisha na deni.
Nilianza maisha na deni. It's what paid my campus fees. Throughout campus, my parents did not have to pay fees. So help came through.
Was it by choice? Did you go for help because it was there? Because I think I remember help being available, and I went to apply, and then I think it was so complicated, I left it alone. I went because I knew it was free money in my head, but I didn't take it.
Me, I went because it was free money. I had options, but it was free money. But I had to painfully pay it. Imagine you've just gotten a job out of campus, and then you have to start na deni. And it used to take more than 10% of my salary.
For how many years?
I think it was for about 5 years. I painfully paid that.
And when you took your help, did you pay fees with it, ama it was more enjoyous?
Part of it was more enjoyous. Unfortunately. Yes. So.
Welcome to the Moms, Money and Life podcast. Today, we're going to talk about why does education planning in Kenya sound like an emergency? My name is Amy Muriungi.
And I am Abigail Arunga.
Why does education planning in Kenya sound like an emergency?
Yes, and why do parents feel like paying their children's education is like what they spend all their money on?
I know, you'll hear a parent say, mtoto wangu anakula pesa yangu yote.
Yes.
Yet, as soon as you have this child, you know this child is going to be your dependent for the next 25 years, bare minimum.
Correct.
Because at 20, you finish campus maybe at 21, 22, right?
Yes.
Or 23, depending on what this child has gone to do in school. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, right? If they've been a doctor, they're still
in school.
Yeah, but although they're getting locum and whatever, but they're still kind of dependent on you. They finish school, doesn't mean they get a job immediately. They're still dependent on you. You're still taking care of transport every other day. If they've left home, maybe you're the one who's paying rent. They're still your dependent. So why is it that it has not become ingrained in us that education planning should start from when this child... I think even any sober person now that I know should think about planning education. As soon as you think you are going to have children, start planning.
Start planning, and don't only look at tuition fees. These days, education planning is more than tuition.
True.
Do you know how much even transport costs?
Hey, you're saying transport?
Do you know how much uniform costs? I still get trauma because now my daughter is out of the uniform stage. But when I remember even how much one jersey costs, I actually sympathize with parents who even have, many children.
I'm raising my hand. Guilty.
There's uniform. And these days, children are also going for trips. There are local trips, international trips that parents have to fund. And I think it's reversed more. Fees is not even the main issue. It's all these additional costs that come with school.
Let's go to why. What happened to walking to school? I mean, we went to the local school.
Yeah.
This is where, if we trace back where these changes started happening, was we left where we lived, and people decided those schools, the government, the public schools, were not good enough.
Yes.
So now we moved to private schools because we felt they gave more attention to the children. We wanted, when earning a bit more, so you wanted academy.
Yes.
Tulianza na academy, sindio?
Yes.
So, whereas we walked to school, and fees I think was reasonable. I think school uniform, you could go to the local tailor.
Yes.
As long as imeshonwa, as long as it was the right. I went for primary, I was in, we wore checked dresses.
Same here.
And I know people who, their parents went to tailors. Maybe I was privileged because we went to school outfitters. But there are children who, kwa tailor, nobody was told to go back home until your dress was...
And remember,
was
we went
from the
with
tailor.
sweaters.
Yes, we went with, what is this blazer business?
Blazers
and it has to be
jerseys.
branded. No attack on schools, but so schools now, it's about branding.
Yes, it is.
It is a brand on its own. And so because you're investing in the brand, you must toe the line. I will tell you, I loathe the beginning of a new year. New year especially. Yeah. Because New Year, people over that Christmas holiday have grown inches taller, have grown wider. Nothing is fitting. That blazer, you're like, so what do I do with it? It's here, you're about to tell the guy, just wear it. I mean, really?
You've not thought about shoes.
No, we've not even thought about... And then, apart from just what they're wearing, and the fact that what has made education more expensive is transport. Because they're not walking to school anymore, now there's transport. Yes. And it's not public transport. I remember in our days, it was safe for a child to be in a KBS.
Yes.
A child could be dropped. It was convenient. It was reliable. Now you cannot rely on that until your child is in a mat. No. It's a school bus.
A school bus or Uber.
Or even private, even Uber.
Yeah, I see children being picked by Ubers. Yes.
So there's been a lot of talk with how people plan for education.
Correct.
And many parents, you and I included, will plan differently depending on our appetite, our discipline, and things like that. In the recent past, there's been a lot of, we've seen our colleagues, people we know, people in the industry say that no, you should not use education, plans to plan for education. What's your personal take on it? With something like that, what do you feel about it?
My personal take is that yes, there are different ways of, because education plans are savings plans ideally, so there are different vehicles of doing that. There's been, especially I think in 2023, something like MMF was really big. Everyone was talking about starting to save in an MMF for your children's fees and then maybe taking another protection policy. But if you ask any parent, I don't know about what maybe your experience is, but sometimes I usually ask, and even see people I know, they're saving in MMFs, in let's say the stocks,
special funds,
but when there's an emergency or just they need money, all these apps are on your phone. You can easily it's a click away.
Yeah, you tell yourself, wacha nitoe kidogo to sort hii issue.
Yes.
Alafu tutarudisha.
Yes.
It never goes back.
It will never go back. And education is a long-term plan. As we said, you need to start early. Your kids will be probably going to school to high school and uni, for that matter, in another 14 to 18 years. You cannot afford, unless you're extremely, and I say extremely disciplined.
I agree.
Then you can take those other routes that can work, and you have to be very disciplined. And sometimes I want us to be just realistic, and even do your research and tell me how many people have managed to use these other methods to plan long term, even in terms of stocks. Stocks, you cannot say, now I need to pay fees, I need to liquidate my stocks. Your stocks are for long term. Interestingly, we still enjoy dividends from stocks, even my father took. And stocks, you just need to give them time. So whether it's stocks, it's bonds, it's MMF, and all the other vehicles of investment, real estate. They are good, they are fantastic. But education planning also has its own place, and you cannot compare the two, because one, this will even give you an extra layer of protection to ensure, in case anything happens to you in terms of critical illness, in terms of permanent disability, you'll be covered. And it doesn't also stop you from taking also just another pure life protection. But let this be your gift to your children in terms of education.
I like to think about education plans as disciplined ways to put money away. And like Abigail, you've said, there's what people don't understand, the difference between you putting money in very liquid avenues. Like your investments are very liquid. If you put in your money market, if you put in your special funds, nothing is stopping you from getting out of that money. If you get a crisis, and this crisis renders you incapacitated in some way, you're very likely to want to tap into that. I've met parents who have been specific parents with the means and ways, and they've said, no, Amy, I want the education plan. Why? Because once I've put in it, I know I also have this protection, and I don't have the liquidity part. I know I can't come and withdraw, right? So there's space and there's a place for all these products.
Correct.
For people who are highly liquid, highly disciplined, you can do the investment way, you can put in your money market, but a money market as well. Have money markets now become the angles for school fees? Who said money markets are? Because I feel money markets is where you pack your money, accumulate it to a level, withdraw it, put it in another investment angle as a lump sum.
Exactly.
Okay? But that will take time. What we never think about, especially for somebody who probably has not thought of a protection plan, you don't have another protection plan in place. Because maybe when you started the education planning, this is all the money you had, and you channeled it all into the education plan. Also, I think something else that has given education plans a bad rep is putting in the bare minimum. If I decide I'm putting 10K in an education plan, surely, what's my outcome with the 10,000? If this is just a disciplined way to put money away, what's my dream for this child? I tell parents, if we're going to plan for an education plan, we have to be very specific. Where do we want this child to go to school? What school is that you want this child to go to? If we're planning for university, where exactly do you want this child to go to university? Are they going to Harvard? Are they going to Stanford? Are they going to South Africa? Are they going to Europe? Where are they going to school? What's the fees like? Because we have to be very specific about what our target is. So if we're planning, and if you look like at the Stanfords and the Harvards, you're thinking about $30,000 or pounds.
Yes.
Per term. So what exactly are we planning for exactly? And this is a foreign student. You're planning for a foreign student. So you're going to think about housing. You're going to think about the air tickets, living expenses for this child.
And something parents do, most of the parents these days want to take their children abroad, but they've not thought of those costs plus the cost of tuition. And the trend I have seen is many people will send their children outside the country, just probably with the first school fees, and these kids have to toil and work to pay for fees, to pay for their upkeep, and so many children are going into depression. Some parents, to an extent, want them to send money to them back home. They assume since you're Majud, there's a way you just, you're earning some dollars, and parents are even feeling entitled.
I remember, I think in our times, going to uni, people who are flying out, even people who are not flying out, even local university, there were harambes. Yes. I can't remember the last time nimeenda harambe education. Watu waleta harambe, ama watu waendi shule, ama kunaenda aje.
Bado wanaenda. And I think even the percentage is higher now. It's just that maybe people have changed the strategy, which is not the ideal strategy. Like, let me send my child abroad, let them go work and hustle to pay their fees and take care of themselves.
But
that's why we find many of them, and a number of them sometimes get into funny activities when they're there. I've even seen some instances where some have been deported back home.
Of course. Now, if we think, because if we look like at the US, for example, if we see how many people now are getting deported.
Yes.
Yeah, Trump is a bit more stringent into those things. We have people who left and have never come back. Because walienda na makaratasi za education, hawakusoma, wakaanza kufanya job, now you're like this.
Yeah.
With, what is that squad? What are they calling that squad?
ICE.
ICE. Now you're running away from ICE, right? And did you even do your education? No.
You didn't.
You didn't finish.
Yes, no.
I remember, I can give my own personal story. After I did my diploma, it was considered a high-level diploma here. I applied to go have my master's in the UK. Now, the thought of leaving, I was looking at this, my mother, who is now, she's still a lecturer, and I was like, how is she going to pay these fees? Huko naona imeandikwa 10,000 pounds. Nashindo analipaje hii fees? And please, the dollar was even less than 100 shillings. I think the dollar was, I can't even remember the dollars at how much, but it was still a lot of money for me. I was like, how is she going to pay, including the air tickets? And I did everything. I did the applications, Cardiff University. So I did the applications, got admitted. I was told even apply for a what is it called, a scholarship.
Yeah.
Then I thought, mimi nitaenda kuosha watu kweli. You know, those are the stories you're being told.
You're being told.
You go to wash old people in their homes. I was like, I change diapers. I'm like, really? Really? So I settled, in hindsight, I settled in staying back and taking some job.
Yes.
In hindsight, that was very foolish. However, there's a thing of not having planned.
Yes.
If I had been confident in that my mom could pay for that fees and she's not going to take a loan and she's not going to suffer, I had a younger brother, things at home were not as, money-wise, I was a bit more aware of money. So I was feeling like mother was struggling and she was not telling me. I was like, I'm not going to be the one who makes her suffer.
Yeah.
So I opted not to go. So when I think about my own children now, and now here I am, somebody is going to campus. And am I ready? I could say I'm kind of ready. But I also have two others who are coming and I have to plan for their uni. So this one, we could be ready. The other ones, plans are still underway. But my greatest fear would be to borrow for school fees. So I feel like I am of the school of thought that school fees should not be an activity you borrow and pay with interest. And what are the lessons that I can take away from this? Planning, you must plan early.
Yes.
The lesson is plan early. Don't wait for this child to hit high school and then now you're panicking because now for sure campus is a reality.
Yes.
Because when they are one, you're thinking campus iko mbali. Nitafika huko tukifika huko. High school comes and it's in a blink of an eye, high school is over. Here is campus. You're facing campus and you're like, okay, so? And I remember an article, I don't know if you ever saw it, I think it was 2 years, where was it last year? I think it was sometime last year that showed that the highest SACCO loans is school fees. It was in 33B.
Really?
School fees, yes. School fees was 13B. Some crazy amount parents had borrowed for school fees.
Wow.
So why do we treat school fees like a future happening without planning?
Because if you don't plan, you have to borrow. It's either or. If you don't plan, you must borrow.
Now, yes, unaweza omba kama uko na ability, but maybe by the time you won't need to borrow, you don't even have the ability to borrow.
Yes.
You don't have good credit, you don't have good standing. Sasa alafu.
That is it.
I mean, the reality of it is, for sure, you need to start planning for children as soon as you have them, or just before you have them. Married couples, single parents, you're on your own, mama. Either you want your child anze na deni. I'll tell you a story again, like November last year. Somebody, we are like in the same office space. And I don't know if it was help who had reached out to him That now he needed to pay his deni for help. So I was like, Kwani, how much is it? It had reached 400K. I was like, you borrowed 400,000. He's like, no. What he borrowed was like 60 or something like that. I was like, what do you mean? And it's now 400,000. And I'm like, how have they caught up with you? So he tells me.
They catch up. They keep tabs. You know, these days, your records are everywhere. From KRA. I remember when I started working, my first month, they knew I was working. So at some point, you can run away, but they will catch up.
You can run, but you can't hide.
No, you can't hide.
This guy, he just started. He was doing an internship, and I think the internship they were paying, and I don't know, they're paying plus his statutory deductions. You know, that is what caused the alarm bells wherever at KRA or whatever. And now he got that letter. I was like, 400,000.
Imagine,
and it's still growing.
Yes, because you pay plus interest.
I'm like, so as a parent, and I'm talking to you, you need to ask yourself, do you want your child to start na deni? Ataanza maisha na deni. Akianza na deni atafika wapi? Surely. And jobs are no longer guaranteed.
No.
So as long as you took the loan, yes, amechukua hiyo help, si ndio? Amesoma, amemaliza, ndio. Hana guarantee ya job. The longer they stay out bila kwanza kulipa hiyo deni, it's just accumulating and accumulating.
Yeah.
And if we look like, for example, like in the US, student debt, people have student debt in tunes of millions and hundreds of thousands.
And you pay for it for almost the
your
rest
whole
of
life.
Your working life. You're paying student debt. That is one of the most painful things. And that's what people fear the most, student debt. But they have to take it, you know, unable to go to school. But if we can avoid it and plan well, then we can ensure we save our children from that experience of having to go through taking a debt to pay your fees.
So basically all we're saying is that education has to be planned for.
Yes.
Whatever avenue you decide to use, education has to be planned for. Why I would say how to put it in your mind. An education plan is just a disciplined way to put money aside that also covers you for the life uncertainties. Like in case you got a critical illness, your MMF does not have a protection. Your special fund does not have protection. If you got a critical illness, the only money that's in the special fund or in your MMF or in the SACCO is what you had managed to put in. For your education plan, it comes with an underlying protection for the critical illness, such that if you got a critical illness, the insurance company does not require you to continue paying premiums into the policy. And whatever goals you had at the end will still be fulfilled. If you became totally and permanently disabled, again, maybe you're incapacitated, you're not able to work anymore, that policy continues until when it needs to pay out. If death occurs, there's a payout that comes up front, and then there are the payouts that come out when you're planned, because you have to be very specific if you decide you're going to do an education plan. Plan and be specific. What time will this child be in school? When are they getting into high school? When are they getting into university? Because that's how your payouts come out. So in a nutshell, I would say my take is you need to plan early, start early, look at all the advantages of having everything. Look at the loopholes, because what you need to have is to make sure that protection is your baseline. If you put, I don't care how many, as much, you can put as much as you want in your investments, in your MMFs, in all other avenues. But if there's no protection, basically you've left a big gap for that money to be sipped into something that you had not planned for. Abby, how do you want to?
I think you've summarized it in the best way possible. And there are also benefits that come with that we don't talk about. When you do an education planning that also has the critical illness and the protection bit, we also have interest and bonuses that come with such plans. And also when you get your payout, you're not taxed for it. So it's a good way of saving from being taxed by the taxman. And it gives you at least 15%, is it?
Yeah, tax relief monthly.
Tax relief monthly. Where do you get that? You won't get it in an MMF. You won't get it in all those other vehicles for investing. So this is such a big benefit that we need to take advantage of.
Yeah.
So with that, I agree with you. Let's start early. Let's do what we have to do, and let's make better decisions for our children.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Toodles. Bye. I remember, I can give my own personal story. After I did my diploma, it was considered a high-level diploma here. I applied to go have my master's in the UK, Stanford. What was it? Yeah, it was Stanford. And no, what have I forgot? I forget the name. What was the name of this?
In the UK?
In the UK.